On the behavior board, put down follow bedtime routine. And then you can do the little notes because you got a 3-year-old and draw pictures for the little one. Say, okay, bedtime routine starts now. Set a timer, and it has to be a timer they can see. I would set timers for the first 20 minutes, you have to have a bath. Then, okay, now time for this. Do not micromanage. In other words, if they're not cooperating and not doing it, they've already broken the rule. It already hasn't happened. So the next day you'll have a consequence for them breaking that routine. The hardest part about bedtime routine is the second part, how to keep them in bed. There's no consequence for that. The consequence is you keep walking them back to bed. You don't say anything. You don't look at them. You don't talk to them. You just keep walking them back to bed. It could go on for an hour, 2, 3 hours, depending on the age, but they'll eventually learn that when they said bedtime, they meant it. It's a little bit more involved. There's 2 parts to bedtime routine. The first part is getting ready for bed. The second part is staying in bed once lights are out. Don't ever use a consequence or go to the behavior board at bedtime. You do it the next day. I make sure kids know what's expected of them. That's why I never told my kids what to do. They already knew what was expected of them. We leave at 8 o'clock to go to school. They were ready. They just knew. I wasn't going to micromanage them. They already knew that from a very young age. It was up to them, their responsibility to get ready. When you're micromanaging, you're trying to avoid a scene is what you're doing. You're trying to not have to discipline. And I don't do that. I'm quite happy to do that. I'm quite happy to say, you weren't ready in time today. So because of that, here's what we're going to do. There was a consequence. And they didn't fight me because they already knew that was their responsibility. You're micromanaging to avoid a scene. You're hoping they'll do the right thing so you don't have to deal with them. That's why parents do that. Please don't do the wrong thing. Please do the right thing. Please stop that. They already know they shouldn't hit. I wouldn't say don't hit. If they hit, I say, let's go to the board. That's what I teach parents. If it was me, I didn't use a behavior board. It's just a teaching tool I use. But I would just say, oh, you hit. Okay, here's a consequence. Now, the person you hit gets to play with your favorite game or favorite toy for the next hour or something.